Today, I'm going to share with you the absolute secret to harnessing your cyclical codes and why creating cyclical harmony in your life and in your work is the absolute key to creating the reality of your dreams. If you are a freedom or sacred success seeker, you're going to want to keep listening and stay tuned because I'm about to flip everything you've ever known to be true about success and strategy and throw it right out the window.
All right, Sacred Success Seeker, I have something that will take your success to the next level. Introducing Cyclical Ascension, the 2-day event to unlock the codes to elevate your energy, create your cyclical success strategy, and magnetize sacred success like it's your goddamn day job. Inside Cyclical Ascension, we will be unlocking your personal code for living in cyclical harmony so that you can more easily move through the ebbs and flows of work and business and continuously experience more clarity, productivity, and energy on a daily basis. We'll be getting over your fear of surrendering or being in your quote-unquote feminine at work and step into your cyclical queen era where you'll go from, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to manage it all, to holy shit, there's so much open space in my calendar. You'll be learning how to infuse your cyclical success strategy into your business, job, or current goal for a productivity glow up and attract dreamier results with more ease, where you're living in your freedom frequency life. Cyclical Ascension is the place to set up not only a life that's aligned with your cyclical nature, but a workflow and foundation for your business, career, and personal goals that will allow you to ascend into success that is sacred. Cyclical Ascension is happening live on August 15th and 16th and available on demand for future listeners. So get ready and get inside.
Hey loves, I'm Olivia Heine, your NLP and Sacred Success Coach, Freedom Lifestyle Curator, and fellow goal-getter. Welcome to the Essence Show and Podcast. If you are new here, please take a minute before we dive in to subscribe down below to my channel, to this episode, to this podcast. You can also go follow along on Spotify or Apple Podcasts if you prefer to do that. Like this video, think about what you want to share about what resonated with you in the comments below once the video is over or throughout, and share this video with someone that you love. Pass it on to someone who you know or think would appreciate it or be interested in it. And if you want to crack the codes to your cyclical harmony, your cyclical productivity, and your cyclical success, then I encourage you to scroll down to the description or show notes below and download the Sacred Guide, which is free, by the way, the 3 cyclical codes to expand productivity. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into why your cyclical codes and cyclical harmony is key to creating the life that you desire. So the first thing that's really important that we cover is whether or not you knew that you are a cyclical being. Because if you don't know that, then I definitely need to catch you up on that because that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I definitely have some other content and some other videos and episodes on this podcast and on this YouTube channel, and I'm going to link those here so that you can go and check those out in more detail and really understand this concept of cycle syncing, cyclical harmony, your own cyclical nature, the fact that you are a cyclical being. And because you are a cyclical being, you actually have a code that is based on this cyclical nature that allows you to create massive and sacred success. So this code tells you how do you work in order to create maximum productivity. This code tells you how you tap into a flow state. This code teaches you how do you expand your time and how do you have more time so that you can get more done in less time and also have more time to go and enjoy your life. Following me here? It's kind of like a rhythm. It's kind of like a riddle. And this is also a rhythm. We're talking about cycles. Oh my gosh. And it also teaches you and tells you how to up-level your energy so that you have more of it. Goodbye energy fatigue. And that you no longer feel that mundane energy fatigue of like going in, day in, day out, same thing over and over. I'm tired, blah. I don't really feel like there's anything exciting happening, or I'm just fully overwhelmed and stressed. Everything is draining my energy. I don't even have the energy to like show up for the people in my life or to get these tasks done. Everything feels like it takes 10 times longer than it has to. And of course, lack of energy leads to lack of concentration. So the problem here is that society has taught us, and the dominant model of success, which is what society teaches us, is based on linear success. So remember a few minutes ago when I said, guess what, you're a cyclical being. And if you need to know one thing before we start this episode, it's that you're a cyclical being. Let me explain. So linear success is really this process of seeing life and time as though it's on a one straight line trajectory, right? It's like one thing happens and then the next thing happens and then the next thing happens and everything needs to build on the last thing. And I can't have this thing before I've had this other thing. Like I need to build on my successes as they come. And there's only so much time in the day, right? If it's linear, it's just like as soon as it's done, it's gone. And that's the same reason why when you achieve a goal and you're like, okay, what's the next thing? Like that is linear success thinking. That's a linear success mentality. So what linear success does is it really truly keeps you in this energy of lack. It keeps you in a mindset of time scarcity or a feeling of time scarcity, like there's never enough time. And it also keeps you in a state of imposter syndrome because you are constantly comparing your linear line with everyone else's linear line. And a great example of this is simply asking yourself the question, what do you think is the right time to do something like have kids and get married? Whether or not you want that for yourself, I'm willing to bet that there's a general timeline in your mind right now. And that timeline is based on the conditionings and the beliefs societally from the people around you and from society that have told you when you need to hit certain benchmarks. This when concept is a very linear model of success. And so when you think about whatever goal you're currently working towards and wanting to reach, the linear approach really says, well, you need to hit this at a certain point. And if you haven't hit this by a certain point, then something's not working, or you're not good enough, or what you're doing isn't working well enough. And of course, there's truth to that. We want to be in a state of reflecting on our goals and seeing what's working and what's not working. That's not the point here. The point here is how this is making you feel and the mindset that that's making you have, which is, I'm not good enough. This isn't good enough. Why is this not happening fast enough for me? Why is so-and-so able to do it faster? Why is Sally successful and I'm not successful? Why do I feel like I don't have enough time in the day? I feel like I'm constantly racing against time. Like it's always this feeling of not enough because linear success and linear thinking, this mentality gives us a feeling of finite. There's only so much in the day. And so we have to compete and fight for our share of it against other people and also against ourselves in our own perception of time. Are you following me? So that is linear success. And now the key here, like I said before, is that you are a cyclical being. So you actually don't follow this linear model on an internal level. Your body lives on a cyclical rhythm, the same way that nature lives in a cyclical rhythm, the moon lives in a cyclical rhythm. We can talk about the tides in a cyclical rhythm, even the seasons, like that's a cyclical rhythm. So there's all of these cycles within and around us. And since we are part of nature and nature is based on cycles, that means we are also based on cycles. So this begs the question, why the heck are we showing up in this linear model if it's not what is going to work best for us? So this is the most important thing. And if you only take away one thing from this whole video and episode, this is what I want it to be. And that is that the way that you're currently working is not allowing you to tap into all of the wisdom and magic, which is cycle syncing, but more so not allowing you to tap into the limitless flow, productivity, time, and energy that you can actually tap into when you are showing up in a cyclical model of success. And this cyclical model has the power to completely change your goddamn life. How do I know this? Why me? Why am I saying this? I know this because this is exactly what I experienced. This dominant way that society teaches us to work is going completely against your cyclical nature. And that's exactly what I did for very, 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 very many years. The same way that I'm sure if you really reflect on this for yourself, you're probably also doing it, or the people that you know in your life are doing it if you've already tapped into cycle syncing and you've been practicing that for yourself. But most of us have been taught a very linear way of working. To be honest, I have yet to meet someone who comes from a family or an upbringing where like cyclical perspectives and ways of working and living were really promoted. Okay. So, why then are your cyclical codes the key to creating the reality that you desire? So the cyclical nature within you, why does it matter? What is this going to actually change for you? So remember right now, I just talked about how linear success often puts us in this lack state. It puts us in this feeling of not enough. It puts us in this scarcity mode. So cyclical success actually does the exact opposite. So before I go and explain that, let's first talk about the reality that you desire. So in your dream reality right now, I want you to just tap into it, okay? In this dream reality, this reality that you desire, you have time. You have time to spend time with the people that you love. You have time to do fun things. You have time to take vacation. You have time to rest. You have time to watch that really exciting, fun new show. You have time to take midday coffee breaks and go on walks. And you have time to really work in a way that gives you more time, where you're enjoying your work because you're not racing and feeling like, oh, I'm not going to get this done in time. You have the energy to do all of those things, to show up as your most authentic and best and energized self because you have had enough sleep. You have the energy. You can go and really focus on the things that you're doing and therefore also become more productive while you're working. And you have the freedom to live your life on your terms, to do the things that you love, to spend time with the people that you love, to go on those vacations, to have freedom financially, to have freedom in your home, freedom in your space, be able to have space that is yours. So, how does that make you feel? What feelings are coming up right now? I'm willing to bet that you feel light, you feel successful, you feel accomplished, you feel fulfilled, you feel expansive, you feel powerful and empowered, you feel happy and in a deep state of peace with your life and with yourself. Like everything is good, everything is working out. Now, what is in this reality for you? Because if you notice up until this point, I've kind of really focused just on like the elements of things that you will have and the feelings that you'll have. So is there a flourishing business, a soulmate partner, a dream job, massive amounts of money and wealth, a big, beautiful home filled with kids, maybe? So I want you to just understand here that it doesn't matter what your goal was that I just talked about, and maybe your goal wasn't even on that list, but 1000%, what I said before definitely connected you to the feeling of having the reality that you desire, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not actually about the thing that matters. It's about the feeling that that thing, that success, that outcome is actually going to give you with, okay? This is the reality that you desire. This is the reality that you're tapping into. But I want you to understand that if you're trying to tap into this reality from a place of scarcity, energy, of not having enough time, of feeling stressed, of feeling overwhelmed, can you notice that none of those feelings were associated with this desired reality at all, right? They weren't even present in it because that's not how you want to feel at the outcome. However, if you are feeling that way right now because of the way that you're showing up in this linear model of success, then that's how you're going to continue to feel. Where focus goes, energy flows, and what you focus on expands. So as long as you continue to live in a way that keeps you feeling like there's not enough, like there's not enough time, energy, productivity, not enough money, not enough support, not enough freedom, you're going to continue to feel that way. So that is why tapping into your cyclical nature is going to open you up to the reality that you truly desire, because it not only shifts the way that you're working, but it also shifts the way that you're showing up to work. So you're no longer feeling this lack and scarcity, but you're starting to tap into this sense of freedom and expansion and time and abundance right here and right now. Okay. So it's kind of like a twofold system. Like it gives you the process of like how to work, how to show up, how to do all these things, but it also gives you the feeling that you want to have and gives you that feeling of freedom right now. Are you following me? Because I know that that can be a little bit complicated. So the reason why cyclical nature, your own cyclical codes will give you the reality that you desire is because gives you a new framework where you then can throw out these old, honestly worn out societal timelines and narratives of success and what you have to do to be successful and all of those BS rules, and allows you to have a framework where you can follow your own internal timeline. You no longer then feel this pressure and rush to be somewhere else because you are tapped into your model of success, your cyclical model of success that goes on your timeline, your internal timeline, like I just said. And as you expand the concept of time, you then feel like you have enough time. You feel like you have enough energy, and you end up having enough energy because of the way that you're working differently, as opposed to this every single day, the same level of output over and over again, which is the linear success. And instead, you're tapping into a flow state, which is cyclical success, the cyclical model of how you're going to create your sacred success that actually feels good, because that's what sacred success is. It's the feeling, the experience, because you can have that outcome that we talked about before of like the money, the car, the family, the partner, or whatever, and still feel really stressed about it because the stress is just wrapped up in that whole process of getting to that outcome. Or it gets to feel really motherfucking good. And you get to live in this feeling of freedom. That's why I call it the freedom frequency all the time. And that gets to become your life. So I know this from my personal experience. And after years of really practicing and embodying, tapping in and living in alignment with my cycle, healing my body, up-leveling my work style and my success, and creating a life where I really do live in my freedom frequency, I've cracked the code, right? I know how to do this, and that's why I'm here to share it with you. This is why harnessing your cyclical nature and cracking your cyclical codes is the key to creating the life that you desire, the success of your dreams, and the life where things flow and feel good. And trust me, it exists. So this is why I'm coming at you right now with all the details and goodies of really how to activate this for yourself. Number one, download the free sacred guide. That's a no-brainer. It's free. It's here for you. It's going to give you the main 3 codes to the foundation for setting up this cyclical approach to life. And then once you have unlocked your codes and you are starting to align yourself with them, or if you're just like, hey, I kind of get that already, like I really just want the next step. Like, how do I do this in a bigger scheme in my life? How do I set up my success for this? How do I actually start to act on creating this reality, not just understand what the codes are, right? Do you understand the difference? So if that is you, or you're ready to take that next step and you're ready to understand how to set up your work week, your personal goals, your business strategy, and your launches, and everything else that you're wanting to create that goes into that, dream desired life that you're wanting to create for yourself, this is how you tap into your cyclical nature. And I'm going to show you exactly how you ascend into this freedom frequency life with a powerful framework and this ancient wisdom of cycle syncing in my upcoming event, Cyclical Ascension. So this is a 2-day event to unlock the codes in order to elevate your energy and crack your cyclical success strategy so that you can start magnetizing freedom and success like it is your goddamn day job. The thing about cyclical codes and cyclical living is that it actually allows you to ascend into success in a way more sustainable way, and also in a much more elevated way. So things happen faster. You get bigger results faster because you're actually putting all of these other pieces in place that sustain you, as opposed to this linear model, which is just like, ooh, I'm walking the tightrope. Like, this is a thin line, and like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I'm just really focused on this goal. Definitely doesn't feel good. I might fall off, but I'm just going to keep pushing forward. That is not what we're doing here. Cyclical Ascension is really going to teach you not only what your cyclical nature is, how to create that framework for yourself, but how to set up a strategy so that you can create this life that you desire, achieve your goals, set up your, like I said, your work, your business, your career around your cyclical nature. So the link to sign up for this event is in the description below, in the show notes below. Once again, let me know how you feel now that you've watched this episode or listened in the comments below. Leave a rating and review. I love hearing from you. I love connecting with you. Subscribe to the podcast or to the YouTube channel, and I'll see you here next time.
Hey, Sacred Success and Freedom Seeker. Are you ready to activate your most productive and successful self? I bet you are. If you're nodding your head yes, then the second brand new Sacred Success Guide, 3 Cyclical Codes to Boost Productivity, is literally made for you. In this sacred guide, you will be activating the 3 cyclical codes for boosting your productivity and in turn your results so that you can step into sacred success. Not only that, but when you boost your productivity, you actually get more done in less time because you're tapped into a flow state, and therefore you actually get back more time and energy. Imagine living a life where not everything was urgent all the time, and you didn't feel the pressure to be productive because you simply were. Goodbye procrastination and say later to burnout and overwhelm. This method that I'm teaching you inside this guide changed the game for me, and it saved me from my burnout cycle. This is the core foundation of how I run my business today and how I live in my freedom frequency every single day. Oh, and did I mention that there's a 20-minute mini training that goes along with it? So what are you waiting for? Get the guide now through the link in the show notes or the description below.